Welcome to That Heartbreak Hogs podcast. If you are new here, please consider hitting that thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Please comment down below your thoughts on our takes. And with that being said, we are going to head into the video that you came here for. It's finally here. The college football playoff starting this Friday. We didn't make it in, but we're still going to talk about it. We'll be in there next year.
Arkansas's not in there?
No, I didn't see him in there, but
Must have just missed the cut.
yeah, I think they were on the bubble. So those dang voters didn't put him in, you know. Yeah, they decided to put Clemson in instead.
They were better than them.
Oh man. All right, well, we'll just go round by round, Sid. Or we can do game by game. But yeah, let's just do game by game for each round. I'll go first on this one, the Clemson and Texas game. They for the playoff, they're going to be doing home field advantage. They're not going to be at neutral fields, so that's going to be really interesting. So Clemson will be traveling to Austin, Texas, to play the Texas Longhorns. I'm so torn on this one because I try to stay neutral, even though I have certain biases and don't like certain teams. I do try to stay neutral whenever I pick a win and a loss. And some people don't believe me when I say that, but I do because I've picked Texas multiple times, even though most of the time I do not like rooting for Texas because I live in Austin and I'm around a lot of Longhorn fans, and they're not fun to be around when you're a Razorback fan. But the thing with Texas is the only big game that they have won is the A&M game. And I just don't know how impressive that is. You know, Georgia, they had two shots at Georgia and came up short when two other teams beat Georgia, not having played them twice. It's just Texas in last year playing Washington, they lose in the first round. I just don't know about Sarkisian being that next level postseason coach. So I just can't believe I'm saying this, but I have to. I feel like that this game favors Texas in so many ways, but I'm taking Clemson.
Wow.
With like no confidence, but it's just a feeling I have that I just feel like Texas is going to blow it. Now, yeah, I've been wrong on all of my Texas game predictions. When I've picked them to lose, I've been wrong, and when I've picked them to win, I've been wrong. So I may have just gave them a win, but I feel like whatever I choose, the opposite is going to happen in this game. If I choose Texas, Clemson is going to win. If I choose Clemson, Texas is going to win.
So then you're rooting for Texas, sounds like.
Wouldn't say that, but I want to get one of these right, man. I want to get one of these right, and
this is a bold one for sure. Bold upset to pick.
But
I do agree.
Taking Clemson.
Dabo,
Sweeney
has been in this situation and is capable of pulling out an upset for sure. I just think that home field advantage will be too much, and I wouldn't take this Texas team lightly, especially having this much time to rest. I just don't see them like losing at home. I know the experience is there from Clemson. This team is too good. What are we even talking about here? Like,
that's how I felt about the two times they played Georgia.
True.
I was like, "There's no way
Georgia,
they're losing without."
Georgia's a different beast, and I picked Georgia both times.
Well, Ole Miss beat Georgia. And
Yeah, but
so did
SEC,
Alabama.
that's true. But when it matters, what does Georgia do?
And are those two teams in the playoffs?
When it matters, what does Georgia do?
Yeah. Well,
They're
it
ranked
mattered against Alabama and Ole Miss.
they're ranked number 2 in the college football playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
ranked number 2. I mean, would they have been 1? Would that have been
No,
mattered?
I get it. I'm just saying I'm really skeptical because Texas did not have any challenges in their schedule. They didn't beat any current ranked top 25 teams. A&M fell
Yeah,
out of the
yeah.
rankings.
I know they fell out of the rankings, but we had talked about A&M being. You had, I think, actually mentioned A&M being a true match. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if they can beat A&M,
Mhm.
and
And they
they
did.
they didn't just beat them; they beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Um, so I get that they fell out of the rankings, but at the moment in time,
Right.
we had talked
But
about it as being their true
yeah.
matchup, and so we're talking about after the fact,
I get it. I
after
think
it's all said
Texas
and
is
done.
capable. It's just cuz I haven't seen it. I'm just skeptical and I'm concerned to pick them in a big game.
Fair,
Um
fair.
because I did feel like that A&M game was a big game, but after that game I wasn't I was kind of like, I don't know how good A&M was. But I guess that's what happens whenever, the loser of a game like that, everybody's going to feel that way. Like
Mhm,
this first round of playoff, whoever loses in the first round, everybody's going to be like, well, maybe they weren't really that good,
mhm.
probably. So, but we'll see. We probably should move on to the next one. But yeah, I think I see why you're going with that. And I don't have
I
any
mean, yeah,
confidence. It's just
it's
like a
not like
gut
a
feeling. It's just like,
I'm
I
not
don't know.
you see where I'm going with it, but because I like majority of the people, I'm sure if you did the bracket prediction, with how many people are picking Texas over Clemson,
Yeah.
you're
The other
on
thing
probably on the
is,
lesser end
I
for
think
sure.
there's going to be chaos.
True.
And this is a perfect spot to start, in my opinion. Um,
This is the Saturday game though,
yep. Yep. This is a Saturday game. And
not the
speaking of
Friday.
possible,
We'll see.
yeah, actually, you're
We'll
right. Let's
talk
just
about
hop
it.
to the
Let's move
Friday
on.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's talk to the Friday
yeah.
game. I should have started with that one, but the top of the bracket on ESPN showed this game. Let's just move down to the one on Friday, starting it off with Indiana and Notre Dame. You go first on this one, Sid.
Yeah, I think the true chaos starts here Friday, in that oh,
Oh no, don't do that. Don't you dare. Don't do don't do Indiana like that. Don't do it. Don't bring them in that nice introduction and then take it away from them. You can't do
you know
it.
what? You're right. You're right. Let's start it. Let's start the chaos early. No, Fighting Irish, I can't do it. They're at home. The home field advantage will matter, in this
Oh man,
situation.
Indiana's gonna let you have it, man. If they beat them,
I'm telling you,
you could have been so famous. You could have been so famous in Indiana
in India,
calling,
hey,
for calling the
I love the
upset.
Hoosiers. Hey, there's nothing I hate about the Hoosiers.
Yeah.
I think they're capable of pulling off the upset, especially against Notre Dame. I'm
Hmm.
not saying they can't pull off the upset. I I just don't see it. Um, Especially at home, I don't see it as much as I want to see it.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, chaos will happen and chaos will happen early. So who knows? But I'm gonna stick with Notre Dame. As much as it saddens me. Hey, Indiana, even though I'm picking Notre Dame, I'm rooting for you.
Don't listen to him,
Because my
Indiana.
picks
He's a
don't,
he's a
yeah.
liar. He,
No.
he
These
misled
picks
you
don't
guys.
matter. These picks don't matter. And there's nothing on the line.
Yeah.
I believe in Notre Dame, but Indiana, I'm rooting for you.
Hmm.
I'm rooting for every upset. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm rooting for every upset too.
I'm rooting for it to be Indiana versus Clemson in the finals,
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. All
or
right.
SMU.
I've I have to do the same, unfortunately. I'm going to take Notre Dame. I was skeptical of Notre
After all
Dame.
that, after giving me
Oh, I wasn't going to pick them.
okay.
I just didn't like that you gave them this big grand intro and then pulled back from it.
That's fair.
I was like, oh, wow. He did it. I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to do that. No offense to Indiana. I'll be rooting for you, but I ain't picking you. Notre Dame, I was skeptical early in the season. I thought they looked like crap early on. I thought both them and Notre Dame, or not Notre Dame, them and A&M looked like crap whenever they played. And then Notre Dame falls to, what's the name of that school? I can't even remember. I know that they were like the Huskies or something. Damn it. What were they?
Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois. There you go. Thanks, Sid. When they lost that game, I was just like, man, these boys are frauds. Since then, they have looked balanced, they have looked complete, and they have looked ready to go. They have not played outstanding opponents, but they have dominated in a way that to me it looks like, again, that they are balanced and they are ready to go, and they don't look like that crappy team that I saw in the first couple weeks. I think that they are a legit contender in this thing, and that they may cause they have the potential of making a run in here, a serious run. But we'll get to that part next after we finish out these other round one games. And let's move on to SMU and Penn State. I'll go first on this one. I've been saying I've got to stick with this. I've been calling Penn State frauds for a very long time. I think that Penn State is always blessed with a very easy Big Ten schedule, and that they get losses to the top teams in the Big Ten, which keeps them right in the bubble of the playoff every year.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have 12, doesn't matter if you're on the bubble of 4 teams, you can still get in. So Penn State, they beat all the cupcakes in their conference. Illinois was a fair win, but it's like that's like, Texas beating Texas A&M in a way, or I think that Illinois is probably equivalent to Vanderbilt. Something like that. Just okay, nice. That doesn't mean you're a top 10 team if you beat Illinois. So SMU, they don't really have any big wins, but I think that they come in here with fire, and I think that they take down Penn State. Penn State just, I don't know. There's just something about them. I just don't trust them. So I'm going to take SMU in this one. And
wow, another big upset.
That's my first big upset of the Saturday, which would then be followed by the Clemson over Texas upset.
I'm not picking Penn State. Picking
You're
Penn
not?
State, not picking the upset.
Oh, you are picking Penn State.
I'm picking Penn State. Yeah. I understand. I get where you're coming from and all that you said about Penn State. Except that I do think they did go toe to toe against Oregon. I know they lost in a 1-score game, but they still are capable of being in that. And I think they are just I do think they outmatch SMU, especially playing at home.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep that brief, but
I get it. It's probably going to be a whiteout.
I actually
right?
have Penn State. Yeah, can see them going far, but yeah, compared to yours, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, will I be surprised of any of these results? Probably not, because you just can't predict it. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
I do want chaos.
I know.
Like, I think
and
just
like
every
there's
other
going to be
college,
some.
yeah.
There's going to be chaos. There are going to be upsets. And speaking of upsets, there's another possible
I got the
one
next
on
one.
Saturday.
I got the next.
Oh,
finally got an
you
upset.
got this one. All right.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
I finally got the upset in Tennessee beating Ohio State. That's the next game. Actually, that's a night game, but I'll take Tennessee beating Ohio State. I know we had already talked about Texas Clemson. Actually, we had already talked about it. So that's the last game remaining for
Yep.
the game we hadn't talked about, which is on Saturday. And I think Tennessee is very capable of beating Ohio State. I mean, Nico is a gunslinger and he can put up points.
Yep.
It's just going to depend on Ohio State defense showing up if they can get those picks because he will be slinging that ball. And I know it's at Ohio State, but this is one where I think um, it all matters about going into how you've been doing recently. And Ohio State, you've been getting dogged on, which could
Mhm.
benefit you honestly because they're gonna
I
have
was
some
thinking
fire
that
lit
too.
under them. They're gonna have some fire lit under them, but I'm still gonna stick with Tennessee. I just think um, this Tennessee team will. I don't think they'll hold off. I mean, if they do, it's still gonna be a high scoring game.
So let's see here. Ohio State has been getting a lot of heat,
From getting beat by Michigan.
and they're favored by 7.
Hmm.
They are favored by 7. I think, like you said, there could be some fire under Ohio
Oh, some
State.
people have Ohio State going to um,
Right.
very far, going.
But like, what kind of fire do you need when you're the favorite?
True.
I feel like that Tennessee is going to come in there and go like, we're 7-point dogs over a team that just lost to Michigan for the 4th year in a row. Um,
Can
that
be, but you cannot overlook that team either.
I don't
Which I
trust
don't. I
Ohio
doubt.
State.
I
I
doubt
just do not
Tennessee.
trust them.
Yeah,
And I've got to take Tennessee too because I
Tennessee
had
too.
Ohio State until before this video. I was going to take Ohio State. I was going to hate it, but I was going to take them. But the more I thought about it, I watched this prediction with Josh Pate earlier where he was doing predictions and he was talking about it. And he said something about he trusts Ohio State. And that made me think. And I was like, I don't know if that's the right word I would use with Ohio State right now as the trust word with them. I don't trust Ohio State. And I've been seeing a lot of Tennessee stuff on X. They are stoked. They are excited. They are coming
Yeah, that
out
they lucked
with a
out.
lot of energy. And I think that the Tennessee program is getting very excited and using a lot of motivation in this game. They're they're even like buying up tickets online. Um,
I don't
Resale
think this
tickets
will
are going to
be.
Tennessee fans. So
Yeah, 7 point is too much. I think this game's
I'm
gonna be a
taking
lot
Tennessee
closer.
too, man.
I think this game's gonna be a lot closer, at least cover. But I think Tennessee beats them outright too. But
Mm-hmm.
at 7 points, I definitely do think that they cover that.
So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next round. Georgia and Notre Dame.
Hmm. We just you got upset.
I don't know what to do in this one, man, because Gunnar Stockton is such a wild card in here because, like, in a way, Georgia can win this game by just having a solid, ready to go defense. Because Notre Dame's offense is not all that impressive. Where if Georgia's offense can just do a little bit and their defense comes in super focused, they can win this game with just
Is
defense.
Carson Beck out for the playoffs?
I think that they're kind of doing that thing where
They're giving
they're
Gunner a
not
shot.
really saying, they're just not really saying.
Yeah.
They're kind of like he's day to day or he's questionable, and I think it's going to be like a game day decision. They're kind of just not really saying.
All right.
Um,
Yeah, I
as
see. Well,
far as I'm hearing, it's Gunner.
I see that as well. I just saw Welbeck is not yet officially out of the playoffs. Stockton
Right.
appears to be in line for his first
And
career
they're
start.
using that appears word a lot, and I
Yeah.
just I can't pick against Georgia. I just can't. Like you were saying, I agree with you 100%. When it matters, Georgia shows up.
Hmm.
And I think that they have the type of defense when they're focused and when they are ready to go, they can go in there and the defense will win the national championship. So I'm going to take Georgia in this.
They're also where are they playing at?
Georgia.
Um, no, I think it's the Sugar Bowl is this one
Oh,
won't
are
be
they
at
not?
home.
Oh, so this
No,
one's
it's
the
only the
neutral.
first round that's going to be home game
That's cool.
favorite. So yeah,
Yeah.
after that it'll be in New Orleans. So that
Oh, good catch on that. Good
game,
catch.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I see that
which
now.
is still Georgia's not far from Louisiana, so those fans will be
Yeah.
there. And if we predicted Indiana or Notre Dame, then we'll have some traveling to do. But
Who are you
um,
taking?
yeah, we'll move on. I got Georgia. Everything we
Okay.
said.
All
um,
right.
I think this team just knows how to
How to win the big
win.
ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
when it matters.
All right. Boise State, SMU. I got to take Boise State here. Boise State. Uh, I'm going to take Boise State here. I really like Genty, and I think
Yeah,
that he's got something to prove after losing the Heisman race. I think that without him, Boise would not be where they are, and I think that they're going to come in with some fire on their chest, like you know, they're going to be ready. I think that they're going to be excited. They're going to be pumped up. They're a G5 team, and they're going to be here to. They're going to prove the world that they're a legit
Genty's
contender,
for real.
and yeah, that Genty's for real. That Boise State as a program is a real contender, and that they've been left out um, too many times in the past. They want to prove their point that they are legit contenders for this thing, not only to win a playoff game, but I think that they want to prove that they can even win a national championship. I don't know if that happens, but I think that they do win their first round. I'm taking them over SMU.
So I had Penn State
Yeah,
going
Penn
against
State.
Boise. I think this is a much closer matchup. I love how Genty plays, and I think he's a beast. Um, I do think, and this team will be very rested.
A Big Ten defense will be interesting.
I think Penn State wins this game.
Yeah, a Big
Um,
Ten defense
yeah,
would be interesting.
I think Penn State does win this game. As much as I'll be rooting for, I know they're not underdogs technically, but I would still consider them being underdogs against Penn State. If that were if that matchup were
Yeah,
to happen, um, and I just don't see Genty putting up those numbers. I'm sure he'll still have a game. I don't see him putting up the numbers he has this season against this defense. So
yeah,
um,
I can see it. I agree with you. The Big Ten defense, if it was a Penn State, I think that it would be a different situation for Boise. I think Boise would be a better matchup for SMU, or
mhm,
SMU would be better on Boise's end than facing Penn State because
yeah.
Big Ten defenses they do the ground and pound. You know
Mhm.
they're gonna be ready for a
They're
running
not gonna
type
let yeah, they're not
offense.
gonna let them run over
Exactly.
them. So, yeah. So we got, we both got
So you
Tennessee,
got Penn
Oregon.
State going to the
Yep,
semifinals.
yep.
Oh, I feel bad for your bracket. I'm just kidding.
We'll see.
I'm just messing with you. Well, yeah, we'll see.
Um,
We'll see, right?
we'll
Famous last
see.
words, right?
Famous last words. I mean, you have SMU and Clemson, so you could be a genius or you could just be straight
Yeah.
up dumb.
Straight up stupid.
Straight up stupid. All
Oh
right, next
man.
one we both had an upset. So Tennessee, Oregon.
I gotta
That
take
matchup.
Oregon, man.
Yeah. Um, I
I
think this
just got
game will
to.
be actually closer than I think if Tennessee does make it, but
Yeah,
I think Oregon is just more well rounded than
I do too.
Tennessee is offensively and defensively. So in that sense,
And this could also change too. Like we'll probably do a follow up for after week 1 is finished. We'll do
if
a
we're
follow
completely
up.
wrong, for
Yeah,
sure,
and
and we'll
we'll
see.
do it round by round too. Our ideas of each team can change round to round.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I may have had
Because it might
SMU
be Ohio
winning.
State. It might be Ohio State versus Oregon.
Right. And if Ohio State beats the crap out of Tennessee, we may be
Mhm.
like, Ohio
Should we?
State
Yeah,
looks very different. They're going to
yeah.
beat Oregon in the
They're going
rematch,
to the finals. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I did
So,
see a bunch of people have that as well. So yeah, we'll see. But as
mhm.
if it were to be Tennessee, Oregon, as of now, we're both picking Oregon.
Mhm.
So the next game is Texas versus Arizona State for me, and Clemson versus Arizona
Yeah, I
State
was
for
about to
you.
say you mean Clemson?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
All right. You think Clemson
Yeah.
will beat Arizona State?
So originally I was thinking that they do. I might be sleeping on Arizona State. Actually, now that we're here, I'm going to take Arizona State. I you know, I do. I think that I was sleeping on them. I think that they may be a little bit better than people think. I've been hating on the Big 12, but I don't know. I think Arizona State might be one of those is don't sleep on them because they might be better than what we've seen and what we think of them. They did take care of business in the Big 12 championship, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They might be. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep using that "we're sleeping on them" word is don't sleep on them because I think that they are capable of whooping you if you do, and I think this might
Mine.
happen.
All right. I think mine will be a fun matchup. Texas against Arizona State.
Hmm It's
Um,
kind of a past Big 12 matchup.
yeah, this is kind of a
Oh wait, no,
I see.
Arizona State just got into the Big 12 though, right?
Yeah.
They haven't been in there before. Okay, yeah,
Mm-mm.
never mind. Wouldn't be that, but
I see this as a great matchup because both teams are capable of scoring a lot of points. Um, and it just be a this could be honestly game of the game of the college football playoffs,
yeah.
where it's that exciting. Um, who do I think wins? I don't know. I'm flipping a coin right now. Um, right now, honestly, I'm slightly leaning a little bit more towards Arizona State than Texas. Um,
hmm.
but again, flipping a coin, Texas could beat the crap out of, like you said, Clemson, and might change my mind.
Yeah.
Um, or Clemson could be, and it would just be completely different.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just looked. It's in Georgia.
Hmm
This game is
hmm
going to be played at the Chick-fil-A Bowl. I You know what? I'll take Texas. I changed my mind again. Flip the coin again to the other side.
Yeah, I would in that matchup too. I think
Yeah,
Texas's defense will shut them down.
I think I still see it being a high scoring game, but I think Texas is capable of winning the high score
Yep.
matchup, um, more so than Arizona State.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
the next one you
Hmm
have Boise State against Georgia.
Sorry, Boise. If this matchup happens, I'll be rooting for you. I want you to win a natty. I just think it'd be cool. I know some people are like, shouldn't you be rooting for the SEC? No.
Oh no, everyone
no.
in the nation besides
No.
the state of Georgia will
Yeah.
probably be rooting for Boise
Yeah.
in that
No, I
situation.
want Boise. But I got to take Georgia if you know, if I'm going to be smart about this and create a bracket that I think will actually happen or potentially happen is, and then yeah, I got to take Georgia.
Honestly,
Um, their
I
defense is just going
think
to be too much.
I think the chaos honestly could happen very early, and where everyone in the nation is wrong, and Georgia loses that
If
first
they
round.
lose to Notre Dame, yeah, that would be crazy.
Exactly,
And I
but
think that is possible. Like I don't just because
for
I have
sure,
Notre Dame losing does not mean I don't think it's possible. Like I said, I do think Notre Dame is a legit team, and I think that some people are sleeping on them and not
yeah,
seeing how legit they are. It's just when you have to play Georgia, it may stop you. You may be done after that.
yeah. I have Penn State going against Georgia.
Okay.
Um,
In this situation, I would be rooting
unsurprisingly,
for Georgia.
I know you would. Um, I think this game. I don't know why I'm thinking this too much on this. I think Georgia does if win this game fairly easily. Um, we'll see how they fare against Notre Dame, but I think Georgia. I think they just pull out and make it to the championship, and we'll move on. I'll agree with the rest of the world.
I'll agree with the rest of the one.
All
All
right.
right.
So you
Oregon
got
and Arizona State for me. And
yep,
then you've got Oregon and Texas.
yep.
Um, I'm gonna take Oregon. Uh, I do think that Oregon on their side of the bracket, whoever they play, I think that they will beat, except for Texas. I think if they run into Texas, I think Texas would beat them and go to the national championship. But with my scenario with Texas not making it this far, um, I am going to take Oregon to win. But again, if Texas makes it this far, I have Oregon losing to Texas if that were to happen. But I think Oregon would take care of Clemson and Arizona State. I think they match up well with those two teams. I do not think they match up well against Texas.
I disagree. Um, because I have Oregon playing Texas in
Mm-hmm.
my prediction so far, and
Yep.
I think um, I disagree. I think Texas eventually gets beat up and tired, and don't think that they. I don't think they do it. I think Oregon is. I do think Oregon is still capable of beating Texas. Um, no one has like a true home field advantage. I think this is weird because even Oregon, even though Oregon's number one, a lot of people would be rooting for Oregon compared to Texas in that matchup.
Mm.
Um, outside of the state of Texas, of course.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Oregon will be heavily like I don't know about not a favored in terms of the scoring, but like favored in terms of the matchup for fans. Like I think overall, both offensively and defensively, they're able to do well against anybody, and that's why I think they go to the championship. So you have,
I swear. Oh, so you are taking Oregon.
I'm taking Oregon. Yeah,
Okay, good. I do not want to see a third time that Georgia and Texas play again. I
I
will be
think. I mean, if
so
that happened,
upset if
let's
that
say
happens again.
if that happens, I think Texas
I
does win. I don't think
they
you shut them out
better
3 times.
they better. And then Georgia's going to be like, "Well, what the heck? Why did we have to play them two other times and beat them?" I just hope that that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, I do think that it's a fairly high possibility of that happening.
If it's a third time, I see Texas winning.
Yeah.
Honestly, And I would
Um,
laugh if Georgia won though. But
that would be crazy.
Georgia would own them for
Yeah.
a very long time.
That'd be the first time that a team has beaten another team 3 times, I bet.
And yeah, 3 times in a year
Yeah.
in a season.
But dude, but would you actually want to see that game? Because me personally, I don't want to see it again.
I
I'd
think I
rather see
would.
Georgia, Oregon.
Oh, for sure. But I think I wouldn't hate it. Like it's not the
Wait, do we
absolute
both
worst.
have Oregon in the? We both have
We
the
both have
same
the
national championship
same.
game.
Both have the same one. I will say I won't hate it if
Mm.
I see it for the third time. Like I'm not gonna hate it. That last matchup was a very good game.
Yeah.
Outside of, the first one wasn't, but the last one was definitely a good game. So I won a good game in my
Yeah.
championship. So, but Oregon, Georgia, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We both have it. We both came to the final conclusion after all that.
I got Georgia. I got to take the. I got to take the defensive team. I think Oregon is they're a primarily offensive based team. I don't think that wins championships. And as soon as somebody can slow them down, I think that that's the team that's going to beat them. And Oregon in their bracket outside of Texas is playing offensive based teams. That's why I picked them to beat the other teams that they're playing in their bracket outside of Texas.
Yeah.
I think
And
Texas would slow them
if
down and
this
beat
matchup
them.
happens, it's
Oregon is
gonna
the
be
same
funny.
thing.
It's gonna be funny because Oregon's gonna be the underdog.
Yeah.
In this if this matchup happens, and possibly even against Texas, they might be the underdogs. Um, but I'll take Oregon. I got Oregon. Beating Georgia. It's crazy to think about, but I think, and I do agree, defense wins championships. We've all heard that.
I'm going to be looking at Oregon's defense
Yeah.
throughout this playoff.
Hmm.
And when we get to this point, that will be for me when it comes to that actual game. If it leads to this matchup, for me, it's going to be I'm going to keep an eye on Oregon's defense. What did they do against Tennessee or Ohio State? What did they do against Texas, uh, Clemson, or Arizona State? Um,
The only
what did
thing
their
that
defense look like?
is all those teams that you mentioned that they'll face potentially besides Ohio State, like Tennessee, Arizona State, or Texas, are don't compare to Georgia in their level of play. They're
Yeah.
both very all like high scoring teams.
Yep.
And
And
so
that's why
I
I'm
think
picking them
Georgia
to
will
win
be
those
completely
games.
different. I think Georgia and Oregon will be completely
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's what I mean is like I think
yeah.
that Oregon matches up well with everybody except
Hmm.
for Texas and Georgia because I think Texas and Georgia are built very similarly. I think that they both have mid quarterbacks, overrated quarterbacks, and
Yeah.
we'll see what Stockton is like, but I don't think he's going to light the world on fire, but I don't think he's going to be bad. I think he's going to be similar to Carson Beck potential.
I don't think
Um,
they're built the same because I think personally I think Texas as often can be controlled by the other team in terms of the pace of play. If they need to put up points, they'll put up points. Versus Georgia, I think in their terms, I think they control the game always. They are if
well,
we're gonna put
Georgia
up
has 2 losses
if we're gonna put up I know you keep mentioning Ole Miss, but I'm saying like
and
I
Bama.
just think as Georgia as a team, if they're gonna control the narrative in terms of if we're gonna put up 20 points, we're gonna hold you to 20 points or less. If we're gonna put up 40 points, we're gonna hold you to 40 points or less. It's not
Yeah,
like, oh, if you're gonna put up 40 on us, we'll put up 42.
yeah,
I think that's two very different things, and that's why I think that's where they differ, Texas and Georgia. Lastly,
no,
it'll be interesting to see if Oregon does the same, or if Georgia can do the same thing to Oregon or not.
yeah, Yeah, we'll just have to see. It'll be interesting if we get to this scenario, this championship, and then
We're not even close.
what took place before that, you know?
Yeah.
But so you're taking Oregon?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. This will be fun, man. I can't wait to go week to week on this and round to round and just, changing my views on some of these teams, going like, this team definitely showed more of this and that I was not expecting, and okay, you know what? I've got an idea here too. For the very first round, what would be your biggest surprise upset? Like upset to you? Like what game are you most confident? What team are you most confident not to lose? That you would be
Not to
like, "Oh, I
lose.
was surprised that they lost." Like if you were to pick like a team from the first round
I mean, I have
to
Penn State
win.
going to the semifinal.
Okay, so you're most confident in Penn State winning their game?
No,
Texas is going to the
I'm most confident in Texas
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think you also have
because I
Texas
also
in
have
there.
Texas going to semifinal.
Yeah. All right. So if Clemson wins, you're going to be in shock. You're going to be in shambles.
I think, yeah, the whole nation will be.
Oh man, I'll be so happy if Texas and Penn State go out in the first round.
Oh, that will shake everything up.
Yeah, but I think it's time to head out on this one, and we'll follow up with it next week after the first round of these playoffs, and we'll see how our predictions change for the next round. All right, see y'all then. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Again, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and commenting down below. We'll see you guys in the next video.